everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to Mystical Munchies featuring the Dungeons & Dragons Flavors of the Multiverse cookbook. It actually helps if I hold the cookbook upright. The fig cakes last week were actually pretty good as the dessert, so now we're on to the drink, as this is the 5th Saturday of the month, Irlymeyer's Dragonfire Punch. First up, let's tell the story. The golden rule with any good tavern punch is that, when going down, it should feel like you were struck by a physical one and make you more inclined to throw one. Such is the case with the potent potable, sometimes called Irlymeyer's Dragonfire Punch, a creation of the mysterious mixologist for whom the drink is named, and perfected by Otique Sandath of the Inn of the Last Home. This refreshing beverage is chock full of domestic and imported juices from across Kryn, including cranberry, orange, and pineapple. The punch comes from the generous amounts of brandy and sparkling wine. Originally named for its use of poisonous dragon's rose blossoms, this recipe has changed significantly over the years, but its effect upon patrons has not. Let's hope the effect upon this patron is that of good taste and not of a heavy buzz. I've taken some liberties to make sure the buzz doesn't happen. The ingredients are waiting for us at the table though, so let's move in that direction. You might be able to see some remnants of a project I'm working on over here. That's going to take me a little bit of time to get done, but that's not relevant to what we're doing right now. What we need for this recipe is we need three cups of cranberry juice cocktail, a third each of frozen orange and pineapple juice concentrates that are thawed. Those will continue thawing most likely as we set everything up. 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, a cup of brandy, and here's where one of our substitutions comes in. I'm using non-alcoholic bourbon for this recipe. I needed the non-alcoholic bourbon for the fig cakes last week, so I was glad I picked that up. Then we also need a 750 milliliter bottle of a Prosecco or some kind of sparkling wine. I'm using a Sauvignon Blanc for this one. It's probably not quite what they're after. The recipe also calls for a large orange that should be scrubbed and thinly sliced, but I'm not going to use that for this recipe. We'll also need some ice cubes a little bit later. Yeah. So let's move into the kitchen and start putting this recipe together. I've got my pitcher right here in shot. I've also got a funnel just in case I need it, because I don't completely trust how big the pour hole is going to be for some of these. So we're going to start off by grabbing the recipe book so I can keep the proportion of the ingredients close by. So the first thing we need is the cranberry juice cocktail, which I've got right here. We need 3 cups of this, and we need to remember that reading the meniscus is a thing that we need to be able to do on occasion, such as here. I'm going to pour this out over the sink. Let's see, 1. Easy does it. 2 coming up. 3. And I've got a pretty good suspicion that this pitcher is not going to be big enough, but we'll find out. So there's our 3rd cup of the cranberry juice cocktail. Then we need our juice concentrates. Hopefully these will be thawed enough that I can pour them reasonably well. So we've got our 3rd cup measuring cup. We'll pour the orange first. I'm going to pour the rest of this over the sink. Looks like we got just enough out. Trying not to stumble here. Okay. And then the pineapple juice concentrate. Yep, easy does it. Yep, looks like we got enough of the pineapple juice concentrate as well. Okay. The concentrates I won't be able to use again, so I'll have to throw the rest of that out. Then we'll grab our 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice, which I've got that right here, along with a 1.5 tablespoon measuring spoon right here. So 1.5. And 3. Grab my paper towel, wipe a little bit of this liquid up. Lemon juice can go back in the fridge. Paper towel can go to the garbage. And we'll bring in our cup of bourbon. Actually, the cranberry juice cocktail can go into the fridge as well. Non-alcoholic bourbon, of course, because I've mentioned before, I don't drink alcohol. Personal choice of mine. We'll give the pitcher a quick little wipe down here as well. I think in my running today, I might try to track down a little bigger pitcher than this. So here's our bourbon. Remember, non-alcoholic bourbon because I don't drink. Definitely smells like bourbon. And I think that's everything we need there, at least for this first step of the recipe. So I'll throw the non-alcoholic bourbon back into the fridge. Let's see, we'll give this a quick stir. That seems pretty good, so we can pull that out. And now we're basically going to serve this straight away. So now we're going to take the bottle of wine, which is still out here on the table. We're going to pour the wine in, which I've got the bottle of Sauvignon Blanc right here. And it does not want to open for me here. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and pour this in carefully. Looks like I'll just barely, and I mean barely, get all of it in. I'm not going to bother adding any ice to this right off, but we will give it a stir once I wipe down the pitcher once again, just to give it a quick blend. I'm going to go get a roll of paper towel out of the closet as well. Okay. Then we'll give that a quick stir. Okay. We'll move that over toward the dishes straight away. Then I can get my pour spigot on. So that is actually the Irlymeyer's Dragonfire Punch. We can add a little bit of ice and stir to chill and blend. So now I'm going to get a small amount out, probably like a coffee mug will do fine. Actually, I kind of want to, I've got a highball glass in here from my alma mater that I have never had a chance to show off on the channel, or even really use for that matter. So we'll give it a pour into there. Easy does it. Okay. And then we'll take that over to my desk for the taste test. By the nature of these drink recipes, they're usually a little bit quicker on Mystical Munchies. This, you might be able to see this drink in shot. This isn't the drink we're using. This is. So this is actually the Dragonfire Punch down here. Hopefully there's not too much of a buzz though, because I took out the alcoholic components and subbed in non-alcoholic, again with the bourbon and the wine. I was trying to find non-alcoholic brandy, but bourbon came out to be an acceptable substitute for that, at least in the research that I did preparing for this recipe. So let's give this a taste and see what I think. The flavors all kind of combine together in a way that I'm not the biggest fan of this in the world. Now, I'm probably not going to feel anything just from taking like 2 sips of it, but I have a feeling just tasting this recipe, 2 sips is probably all I'm going to do with this recipe. Because, like I said, the 3 flavors in here, pineapple and orange, like especially, well, pineapple orange juice used to be one of my favorite juices when I was a kid. And I do eat a lot of pineapple because that's most of my sweet tooth. I still like orange juice on occasion. Cranberry juice I never really warmed up to, and I think because there's so much of the cranberry juice in here, it kind of overpowers the other 2. Plus the bourbon and the wine being in here. It's all, basically the ramble I'm getting at is it's combining into a flavor kind of cocktail that I'm not really liking, to be perfectly honest. So I'm probably going to end up dumping this out when I get back over toward the sink. And that is another episode of Mystical Munchies in the books. We've got a lot of stuff coming up on the channel. First order of business, if you're interested in my sports projects, the Summer 2025 project poll is now live on the channel because I had the Summer 2025 project selection show last night. The poll for that is now live, so if you want to influence the content, go ahead and cast your vote there. The more votes each project gets, the more dice it'll roll on the 1985 season recap and reveal show. Speaking of 1985, later this afternoon, we'll be over at Tiger Stadium for Game 1 of the 1985 World Series in my replay using season ticket baseball. The Montreal Expos will be taking on the Detroit Tigers. Bryn Smith will be going for the Expos, and Jack Morris will be going for the Tigers. Tomorrow we're going to be playing game number 1 on my War Room 10 game challenge as we actually not game number 1, game number 6 on my list as we play Twilight 2000 from Free League Publishing. Wednesday we're playing game number 7 off the same list as we play 5 Parsecs from Home from Modiphius Entertainment. Next week we'll be in a new cookbook on Mystical Munchies, but we'll have more on that during Pinot with Phoenix, which will be on Monday night in lieu of game 3 of the 1985 World Series. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.